We're here outside of Fox Business's studios on 48th and 6th Avenue, and look what's behind me. I have the 2026 Grand Lucid Gravity Grand Touring, and it's not just assembled in the U.S. See, that's the problem, and President Trump has been a little annoyed with some of the U.S. automakers because he says, you know what? They're not made, and some parts are elsewhere. They're assembled in the U.S., but the Lucid and a whole bunch of parts within it, especially the heart of it, the motor, that's made here in the United States. Joining us now in a Fox Business exclusive is the Lucid Interim CEO, Marc Winter. Great to have you.
Liz, thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk about what is made here in the United States beyond the motor. The batteries, what else?
Yeah, well, as you already said, our car is fully assembled in our plant in Arizona. And beyond that, as you said, we have the e-motor, the drivetrain is fully vertically integrated in our plant in Arizona. We also make our battery modules in Arizona as well as the packs. We also have now arrangements with our cell suppliers to move the cell production stateside. And we even think about the raw materials, the critical raw materials, and we have cut deals, for instance, on graphite, 2 deals to secure graphite supply for us also stateside. So we're doing a lot right now to go beyond just assembling the cars in the United States.
Beyond that, exactly. Yes. So let me just ask you about the materials. We know already there are 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum. How much steel is in an average Lucid?
Actually, there's much more aluminum in there than there is steel.
Really?
The whole body is aluminum, and the vast majority of this we're actually sourcing in the United States right now.
Okay, so that would be certainly helpful.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us which companies you source your aluminum from? Is it Kaiser? Is it Alcoa?
I don't have that available right now, but it's sourced out in the US.
But it is the U.S. Yes. Okay. When you look at the Trump tariffs on autos, what's your initial gut reaction as a guy who has been in the auto industry?
Well, it's going to be a challenge because, I mean, all the supply chains in the automotive industry are very long and global. Mm-hmm. So for many automotive players, it will be a challenge to make changes to that supply chain. Particularly, and you just mentioned it, some of the local players here, they're not only sourcing from Mexico, but also from overseas. So therefore, they will have to make a lot of changes.
And these parts go across multiple borders.
Times, yes.
Multiple times. That happens to be an issue. Let's let the camera guy come in here. Yeah. We can take a look on the inside.
And I want to.
I'll get in on the other side. Oh. Now, the average starting price of this particular model is about $94,000 plus, right, Marc? So. You know, we got a situation, certainly, let Marc get in the car with me if he can, but we've got this situation.
Hard to get through them. Okay.
Exactly, where the consumer is a little bit anxious, just a bit.
Yeah, you just talked about the price, because I couldn't hear it because I was still outside.
Yeah, $94,900 starting.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we just opened the orders not so long ago, and we are very happy with the orders that are coming in, because yes, as you said, we start at $94,900 for the Grand Touring trim. There will be later in the year our Touring trim that starts at $79,900. But what we're seeing right now, the orders that are coming in are well over 100,000. So people are really...
Okay, that's news. 100,000 orders so far.
No, not 100,000 orders, the $100,000. When the people configure the car, they put a lot of options in it. Sure. And really, I mean, we're very pleased with the demand.
Who's your core buyer here?
Well, it's actually not our existing customers. What we try to do with the Gravity is really open completely new segments for us, customer segments, and that happens. More than 75% right now of our Gravity orders are from people that have not been with Lucid before. So that's actually very encouraging for us too.
Let's talk as we exit the car for a minute. 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. What's the horsepower, Marc? Tell me the horsepower here and how quickly it charges. You know, when you're talking about EVs, you want to know how quickly it'll charge.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point because there was this news about, BYD announcing the 5-minute.
Yeah. Okay, wait. For people who don't know, BYD has just announced that it can charge up to something like 450
400 kilometers.
Okay.
And they're using the...
In 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes, exactly. They're using the Chinese drive cycle for that, which actually equates to 170 miles EPA. And our charge time with the Lucid Gravity is a little bit over 8 minutes already. But here's the big difference. BYD achieves that with completely new charging stations. They require 1,000 volts and 1,000 kilowatt. Our 8 minutes are with currently available charging stations here in the US. So we are ready to go with just 8 minutes.
Okay, we love fast charging. And then here's the feature, right?
Yes.
This is a new feature in this particular model.
Last time we made you climb into the frunk.
I recall.
Now you can just sit down. You even have a seat.
So you can just hang out at
Yes.
Anybody do drive-in movies anymore? No, we'll say at the beach, right?
Now, you now have first row every time you want. No?
I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Tesla owners right now who are trading out their Teslas for a couple of reasons. Number one, Teslas have not changed. The same model keeps coming off the assembly line. So it's not like they're adding fancy things that each, in normal car situations, you will always the next year get something different. But also people might have a negative feeling about Elon Musk, certainly. Some do. We've seen that. Are you grabbing any of those ex-Tesla owners?
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, Tesla owners always have been a source for us, for new customers, because they're used to EVs and they are looking for an option other than Tesla. They already did this last year. I have to say, we see a dramatic uptick in the last 2 months.
Really?
Absolutely, yes.
Can you give me a percentage?
Yeah, right now, 50% of all of the orders that we have are from former Tesla owners.
Really?
Yes.
Do you get any insight as to why they're switching out?
It was the latter, what you mentioned. They're right now looking for an option to not continue having a Tesla.
I see. And the stock, as we finish up here, got to get that stock up.
Yes.
What do you think is the issue? I mean, you've got a big investor in Saudi Arabia. So what's happening here?
Well, I mean, you have to understand that so far, before we launched the Gravity, we were only playing in a relatively small market segment with our luxury award-winning Lucid Air. And there are only so many vehicles you can sell. So what the customers or the public wants to see is big sales numbers, but you can't actually sell them because we were the best-selling EV in our segment in the United States in the second half of 2024. Nobody really knows that. Now with the Gravity, I think it's volume, continue to execute on our delivery numbers, production numbers, as we did in last year. We had 4 consecutive record quarters.
I saw that.
And my
deliveries,
deliveries, exactly. My goal is, continue on this execution, and obviously the second big goal is driving up the stock.
Marc Winter, it's great to have you. Thank you very much. And we'll see, you want to be the regular CEO, not just the interim?
There is a search going on, and I'm not interfering in that.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's a beautiful vehicle.